What is your time frame? I hear people all the time complaining. They say things like, oh, I've been doing it for 3 months. It's not quite working out. I think I might jump onto the next thing. They watch some YouTube video and suddenly they've got themselves a new side hustle idea. Guys, not being funny. That's not funny at all. You're just kidding yourself if you're doing that. You've got to give yourself a time frame that is really respectful. Hey guys, so around this time of year, there's a bit of a side hustle fever going on. Everyone's like, I'm gonna start a side hustle. I'm gonna start selling on eBay. I'm gonna start affiliate marketing. Hey, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. All I'm hearing is, I'm gonna. And if I'm being absolutely frank with you guys, I'm gonna absolutely get us nowhere. The thing I've learned about having a side hustle that actually then becomes a success is that you require two core things. You require a very clear plan and you require action. So today I'm making this video to help you literally stop kidding yourself. Instead of just repeating, I'm gonna every single year, this video is here to help you actually take action. We're gonna shift away from starting something and then getting overwhelmed, right? And the reason why that happens to a lot of people is because they don't know how to deal with the bits in between. This video today is here to fill in that gap for you between starting with, I'm gonna start a side hustle, to actually one day then making that side hustle a success. Guys, if you're loving the sound of today's video, I'd love for you to hit that like button and give me a signal by showing some love for the work that's gone into today's video. This video is going to be split into 3 parts to make it super practical. Part 1 is going to be about why setting goals for your side hustle is important. Part 2 will focus on how exactly to set goals for your side hustle. And then part 3 will be all about what next, Ken? I've watched this video. What next should I do from now on? For those who are new to our channel, my name's Ken of the Humble Penny and Financial Joy Academy. What we do on this channel is give you guys the tips, the insights, the practical hacks to help you work towards a dream life of financial independence and money joy. Side hustles, of course, fit into the picture of that journey towards achieving your goals because it just helps you accelerate that journey a lot faster. I know this because side hustles have worked for us for years, and it's actually what's led to us actually running this channel here on YouTube. All right, so part 1. Why is setting goals for your side hustle important? The first reason is motivation. You see, most people give up on their side hustles because they do not actually have a goal in place. They've got nothing they're looking at and working towards. The second reason they give up, tied to this point of motivation, is that their side hustle goal that they've set for themselves, potentially if they've got one, is far too overwhelming. So you might have an example where someone's going from earning 0 from side hustles to suddenly going, oh, I'm going to earn 20,000, 30,000, or even 50,000 in a year from a side hustle. How do you go from earning nothing to suddenly earning all of this money? Of course, that leads to a massive overwhelm. So actually setting goals and setting them properly gives you that injection of motivation. The second reason is structure. Having goals and having an actual plan gives you something to work towards. So you're not waking up going, oh, what am I going to work towards today? Or just being confused because you do not know what next to do with regards to your side hustle. Having a very clear goal and having a very clear plan that includes what steps you should take should help you, give you a pathway and a bit of a structure. Number 3 is momentum. Now, being super frank, a successful side hustle is not an easy thing to achieve. I don't care what anyone has to say, it's not easy to achieve. The only way to achieve a successful side hustle is through momentum, and momentum comes by being consistent. So having goals that have certain milestones kind of built into it is absolutely key for helping you have success on this journey. And the final reason is, of course, the success of your side hustle. This is exactly why I'm making this video today. If I'm being super frank with you guys, we've made so much content on side hustles. And when I come across people and I say to them, how is that side hustle going? People just say something really random or come up with some excuse. I'm being frank, I'm actually quite tired of hearing people not act on what they say they're gonna do. So this video, if you actually apply what we're sharing today, literally do it step by step, then I can pretty much guarantee that the outcome of success, whether it's that you've actually started a side hustle or that you've made your first income or that you started making an income on a recurring basis, you will without a doubt have one of those outcomes as a signal of success from starting your side hustle. All right, so let's move on to part 2 now. How then do you set goals for your side hustle? Now, I'm going to make a few assumptions. I'm going to assume, first of all, that you already have a side hustle. And if you don't have one, hang on till part 3 when I'm going to share some steps on things to do next. But assuming at this stage of the video that you've already got a side hustle, the very first thing you should be doing is to set goals around your skills. By that I mean the skills you require to actually make your side hustle a success. For example, do you need to learn about SEO? Or do you need to learn about video editing? Or perhaps you need to learn about the basics of marketing. Focusing on the skills actually makes this journey of running a side hustle far less daunting. You remember I mentioned earlier how a lot of people just focus on the money that they're trying to make. Well, in actual fact, the people who become successful on this journey are the people who actually create milestones around the skills they need to acquire on this journey towards eventual side hustle success. Next is to set goals around income and profits. Okay, so notice we focus first on skills. We hadn't even talked about money, but next is about the money. Like, how much? Let's be frank. How much do you really want to make from side hustles? You might hear people say, oh, I'm starting a side hustle. But a lot of them are just chasing the wind. They've got no idea what they're doing. And a big part of why they don't know what they're doing is because they don't have an idea of what they're trying to achieve tangibly, a number that they're aiming for. So here you want to focus on what's the income you're trying to generate. And if it's a sort of side hustle that then involves additional costs, you want to then additionally work out what's the profit you're trying to end up with. And then overall, you want to ask yourself, how does that number you've worked out fit into your overarching number, i.e. the number you're aiming for from an additional income perspective in your life in a particular year, for example. Making it up. Let's say, for example, that in a year, you wanted to grow your income by, say, 50,000 generally. The question then becomes, what portion of that 50,000 that you're trying to earn in a year additionally will come from a side hustle? You know, is it 5,000? Is it 10,000? And why? Okay, so you need to get to that level of detail, because the minute you start to put some definition around what you're trying to achieve, you find that you are far more committed to actually making those goals a bit more of a reality. Next is a time frame. You need goals around a time frame. I use an example of us with the Humble Penny. We started the Humble Penny as a brand on the 3rd of December 2017. From that date, I gave myself 3 solid years to make this thing a success with my wife, Mary. That was it. As far as I was concerned, we were going to carry on from the 3rd of December of 2017 all the way to the 3rd of December 2020. There was no giving up. It was going to be go, 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 consistency until we saw this thing either become wildly successful or become a complete failure. But do you know what that did for me? Having that time frame meant that I stopped listening to everybody's whining and noise and distractions. I just focused relentlessly, knowing I had that period to make this thing happen. So for you, you've got to be very clear. What is your time frame? I hear people all the time complaining. They say things like, oh, I've been doing it for 3 months. It's not quite working out. I think I might jump onto the next thing. They watch some YouTube video and suddenly they've got themselves a new side hustle idea. Guys, not being funny. That's not funny at all. You're just kidding yourself if you're doing that. You've got to give yourself a time frame that is really respectful. I'm talking here at least 6 months on one idea and nothing else. Then you are actually taking yourself seriously and potentially going to turn that thing into something that actually makes you money and becomes a success one day. Next thing to set a goal around is when will you do it? Okay, so it's all good and well saying, hey, I've got my shiny new side hustle. Right, what next? What do I do next? Question is when will you do it? If you're a parent, will you do it when your kids have gone to bed? If you're someone who has a job, will you do it during your lunch break that you've got your hour of lunch? If you're somebody who is super busy, will you do it first thing in the morning? Yeah? So you've got to decide when exactly is this thing going to happen? When exactly? Will it be from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. so that I can then get ready and get myself to work? Which I was doing, by the way, just to be absolutely clear. Yeah? Will it be, oh, I finished, I've got on a train, and I'm trying to get home, and I'll do it on my train journey? You know, I know that not a lot of us are working and traveling now, but you've got to decide when you're going to do this and actually make that contract with yourself and commit to it. And the final thing to set a goal around before we move on to part 3 is where will you do it? Okay, so I'm going to use an example. Okay, are you going to do it in the same place that you normally watch your Netflix? If that's what you're thinking of doing, then I'm sorry to say this, but you're kidding yourself, because that's not going to happen. Because of course, the will to watch Netflix will far exceed the will for you to work on your side hustle. So you've got to be clear, like, where exactly am I going to put that time in to make my side hustle happen? I know not everybody has a lot of space around where they live, but you have got to decide where works for you and make that the place that you actually go to each time to actually commit that time towards working on that side hustle. I'll give you an example. People who write books, you find that a lot of people who write books usually have a specific environment. They have to change their environment for them to either get the motivation or get the drive to carry on, but they're changing the environment so that they can actually focus and commit to delivering on a certain number of words per day in order to eventually hit their goal. So we have to borrow from an idea like that and apply it to this concept of making your side hustle a success. Right, if you've made it to this part of the video, I'd love to ask you, if you're really enjoying this video, please hit that subscribe button. Your subscription really helps our channel to continue to grow and appeal to so many more people. So really appreciate it if you do subscribe. Okay, so in part 3, question is what next? So I've listened to you, Ken. What should I do next? Here I'm going to assume that you don't have a side hustle at all, or you might have one, in which case this still applies anyway. So here are 5 steps to follow immediately from actually watching this video. Step number 1. Head over and watch a video we released only last week called 50 Best Side Hustle Ideas. Why? First of all, that video contains a lot of value. The goal I want for you from watching that video is to go ahead and pick just one idea. One. Don't say to me, Ken, I want to do eBay, I want to do blogging, I might start a YouTube channel. No. Pick one. Once you've picked one, then move on to step 2. Step 2 is to be clear on why this side hustle is the one for you. Now, I use an example. I've got here a notepad, courtesy of YouTube. Thank you very much. Get yourself a clean notepad, something that actually works for you. And in that notepad, you want to begin to write down why, open a page, why does this side hustle work for me? Is it that you have the time to work on that side hustle? You're able to find 1 hour or 2 hours here and there. Or is it that you will enjoy this side hustle? Or is it that this side hustle will be profitable potentially? Or is it that this side hustle might one day become a business that offers you a bit of diversification to your job? Like, why is it? Be clear on that why, because that why will matter on this journey on the days when it gets hard, and it will get hard. Step 3. Write down what skills you have that will help you make this side hustle a success and what skills you think you are missing. This is very important. Remember, early in part 2 of the video, we talked about the importance of skills. And what you want to do here is begin that journey of setting milestones around your skills. So you might say for yourself, well, actually, do you know what? I think I would need to learn a bit of marketing. So I will focus for the next 3 weeks. I will binge on various bits of content, actionable content that will help me increase my skill of marketing, or it might be video editing or whatever. But you know what you will need for that particular side hustle. So the action point then becomes setting specific goals around skill gaps you have. It might even be that you say, well, actually, I've got a skill gap here. What I would do instead is invest a bit of money, hire somebody, and bring them in to help me as a freelancer. They might work with me 1 hour a week, and they are helping me make sure that that thing I'm trying to achieve becomes an eventual success. Step 4 is to then set yourself a realistic income goal, okay? I mentioned earlier, trying to go from 0 to like 50K or 30K or whatever. That's just completely unrealistic. What I'd suggest here to be super practical is to aim for around 10% of your current income. Let's say you've got a job and let's say you're making £30,000 or $30,000 per year. Aim for around 10% of that as a beginner, okay? First of all, obviously you're making nothing as a complete beginner, so you first need to make that first pound or first dollar, which if you follow this process I'm outlining in this video, you most certainly will make. But in terms of what you should aim for, I'd suggest aiming for that 10%. So around £3,000, for example, as a goal, if you earn, say, £30,000. But of course, if you exceeded that 10%, then, excellent, fantastic for you. But having a certain goal will keep you really focused and give you something worthwhile, realistic, and somewhat challenging to aim for as well. And finally, step 5 is to set yourself a time frame. I've told you guys what I did when we started Humble Penny. My suggestion to you here is to aim for at least 6 months. The time frame you give yourself will differ depending on what you are doing. So for example, if you are someone who's starting a blog, then I will tell you based on my experience that you would need at least 12 months of blogging in order for that thing to start to generate you an income. Or if you're somebody who started a YouTube channel, for example, you need at least 12 to 24 months of consistently putting out good quality, valuable videos that help people on the internet for that thing to then become something that you monetize and start to attract various opportunities. But you will know what sort of time frame to give yourself. But my point is, you need to make that time frame at least 6 months. And the final point is, please don't just type all your things on your phone, okay? Don't do that because it will mean nothing. Get yourself a neat notepad. Call it your side hustle notepad or whatever. And literally own that notepad and write down the various things I've talked about on this video, step 1 to 5, and your various core motivations for wanting to start a side hustle. Guys, I want to hear from you in the comments as you watch this video. What aspect of this particular video today has resonated with you the most? Head over in the comments and let me know. If you've got any other questions around this whole idea of setting goals to make your side hustle a success, jump in the comments and I'll be right there in the first hour of this video making sure that I answer all your questions. One final thing, if you've not subscribed to this channel, come on, hit that subscribe button and share this video with at least one other person who might have been struggling with their side hustle and who might need this video as that extra push they need in order to move forward. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and as ever, in all things, be thankful and seek joy. Take care and bye for now.